What's going on, guys? Bullish290 coming at you with your weekly NFL video. So we're gonna same format as the past couple weeks. We're gonna go over the games from Week 8, some news, and get our prediction in for Week 9. So let's get into it. Starting off with Thursday Night Football. Falcons-Panthers. Falcons beat a what everyone else is calling a rebuild Panthers team. I still think they're pretty good. They just don't have Christian McCaffrey right now. Their defense is still playing pretty good. They can do a little bit better though. So maybe we'll see some improvement on this week. But a couple of scrums happened in this game. One big one was Teddy Bridgewater got hit late, and that hit took him out of the game and put in XFL star quarterback P.J. Walker, who the Panthers signed over the offseason. So, Falcons win and improve to 2-6. The Panthers are 3-5. Then we'll jump into Sunday's game. Raiders 16. Browns 6. Pretty disappointing outing by the Browns. I'm pretty sure I had projected them to win, and they are sorely missing Nick Chubb right now. And the defense was kind of lackluster. Myles Garrett didn't really show up, and a couple of turnovers really killed the Browns early. And the weather also kind of played a factor, obviously, if you guys didn't see some of the game. It probably would have been 19-6, but that's all I'm pretty sure the score would have affected. On to the next game, Vikings-Packers. Vikings get the win, and then shot the Packers late in the game. Dalvin, the big storyline here is Dalvin Cook rushes for over 200 yards and has 4 touchdowns total in this game. So we obviously see that Dalvin Cook really kind of needed the time off to freshen up his legs, and he really showed up against the Packers. Really, the main reason why the Vikings probably won against the Packers, because one flaw will always be shown for as long as the Packers don't have any new linebackers or any new defensive linemen, is the Packers are a really good team to run against. We saw it in the NFC Championship game last year, and we see it here against the Vikings. They cannot defend the run well. And as long as you have a good running back against the Packers, you're set. So the Packers go down to 5-2. Their 2 losses now being the Buccaneers and the Vikings. The Vikings are 2-5, I believe, still bottom of their division, but things are looking up if they have Dalvin Cook. Colts-Lions. This game was kind of a false hope for Lions fans, because it seemed like a very winnable game. Oh, these records might be wrong. I might have been reading off these records wrong. My bad, guys. Oh, never mind. That is what the NFL as the record says. Colts, I believe they're tied in their division for the top of their division right now. I don't know how seriously I would take the Colts right now. Just gonna have to see a little bit more out of them. Play a team like the Packers or the Steelers or the Ravens, the Seahawks or something like that. So Colts win against the Lions. I was kind of hoping the Lions would win, but yeah. Next up, I did not see this coming, but I will say, in a way, I did, and I'm kind of proud. I'm kind of proud of this game. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I was pretty. When I saw this, I was like, I was pretty happy. Bengals win over the Titans, 31-20. Now I've said all year, and you guys probably already know what I'm about to say, that Joe Burrow is gonna keep the Bengals in every game. And you'd think, after they just traded Carlos Dunlap, but we'll get in that in a second. And some of their offensive linemen were out, that this was a not winnable game for the Bengals. But the Titans did not have any pass rush on Joe Burrow. When they did, Joe Burrow has a unique ability to escape and just make plays. So, Joey Burrow leads the Bengals to defeat the Titans. And one also really big player I kind of saw in this was T. Higgins. Now, I was kind of expecting John Ross to get traded before the trade deadline, because right now the Bengals are set at wide receiver with AJ Green, Tyler Boyd, and T. Higgins. Like, you can, like, if you have those guys, you're set, because T. Higgins really did show out in this game. So, that's all I have to say about the Bengals-Titans. Bills-Patriots, this game was a little too close for the Bills. This is the second straight week in a row where they've won, but it's been kind of sketchy. Last week when they played the Jets, it was only an 8-point game, and the Jets had a chance pretty late. And now, the Patriots had a chance late. They were driving downfield, and if it's not to Cam Newton fumble on the drive, they probably go down and at least tie the game, if not take it. So, Patriots fall to 2-5. I think, I don't know if they're, obviously with Bill Belichick, they're probably going to try to win still, but it's just, it's kind of weird to say, but I think they're in rebuild mode. I don't think they'll get Trevor Lawrence, because they're not in that position to, unless if they trade I think they have 2 first-round picks this year, or maybe a first and a second, or 2 seconds, because I remember they traded out last year, I think, to the 49ers or something. Unless if they give the Jets a haul of picks, and I don't even know if then that would happen. I don't think they're going to get Trevor Lawrence. Can they get someone like Jamie Newman or a Trey Lance, maybe even a Justin Fields? Yeah, it's in the realm of possibility. And I'll go over, since we're getting closer. It's still a rough estimate of the draft order, but I'll go over a mock draft, just a kind of throwing it out there, mock draft, sometime soon. So, Bills inch out a lead and a win against the Patriots. Rams Dolphins. It is officially Tua time. Now I know the defense and the special teams really bailed Tua out, and Tua had a average to below average game. But we didn't really get to see a lot out of Tua, because it didn't seem like he was on the field all that much. It was the Rams offense, and they didn't do a lot. And I think this is the defense that everyone was expecting when the Dolphins got Brian Flores as their head coach. This is the kind of defense we expected. Now, was it against a fraudulent team? Yes. I don't think the Rams are real. Right? They're not the best in their division. And some of these wins are just like nothing really impressive. There's been nothing about them that's really been impressive. They had that win against the Cowboys, and everyone's like, "Oh, are they real?" But then now you look at the Cowboys, and they're not even doing good. So, yeah, it's good to see the Dolphins win. They're second in their division right now. I think they have a good chance of making the wild card. The AFC is pretty tough this year, but with the expanded playoff seeding and stuff like that. I think they have a chance. Steelers Ravens. Ravens had a chance late, but what really killed them was the Lamar Jackson turnovers. Big Ben, you know, there's no real knocks on him. It's just he's not like. This probably would have been an absolute blowout if they could have capitalized on more of those turnovers, and Big Ben, marches them downfield a little bit better, and this wouldn't have been as a close game. But the offense is a little, needs to find its footing a little bit more. Understand, like I'm not expecting a lot out of Big Ben right now. But the rookie Chase Claypool is going to be getting a lot of the coverages now. A lot of the double teams is going to be drawing a lot of the attention, since he has really showed out so far in his rookie year. So what I would expect is some of the not right now the Steelers are right in the hot hand. I'm trying to put this the right way so I won't like spark an argument or whatever. And the hot hand is Chase Claypool, right? He is the number one receiver on that team. So that, Juju is going to get a lot more attention if they draw more attention to Chase Claypool. Juju Smith-Schuster, James Washington, a couple others, those players need to step up. Not necessarily the number one receiver, Juju probably would have been number one receiver if he would have kept going the year before the Steelers got rid of Antonio Brown. But he's kind of dropped off. He dropped off last year, and that could be put up to the quarterback change. But he just hasn't really got back to his rookie self. Chargers Broncos. Chargers blow. I think this is their third game in a row. They've blown a 16+ point lead. Now, this game I don't think really matters right now. Like, the Broncos really have to win out if they still want a chance. The Chargers, I think, are a couple losses away from being officially eliminated. Like, it's going to take a lot for some of these teams sitting third and fourth in their division to even be able to have a shot with how competitive these conferences are this year. It seems like you have to be first in your division to have just a really good shot at being able to get in a wild card. So, Chargers Broncos get it on the last play of the game. And there's a little fight at the end, but Drew Lock really showed his composure towards the end of the game. Threw to rookie KJ Hamler for the win, and they got the field goal. If they would have missed the field goal, the PAT probably going to overtime, and honestly wouldn't know. Now some of this, can be put on the Chargers defense for allowing the Broncos to come back, but Justin Herbert's got to be able to fire back. I know all the momentum was going in Denver. The quickest way you shut that down is just go out and keep scoring, right? Kill the momentum before it even gets to start. And that's kind of like what happened with the Chiefs game. If you guys remember, they had the lead. If Justin Herbert just goes back out there when he has the ball, just go out, keep scoring, you kill all momentum. Any chance. Saints Bears. Honestly, none of these teams, both these teams are just, the Saints aren't real. Let's be honest with ourselves. This is their second OT game this year, and the Bears are, they're not bad, but they're not division winners, right? They are playoff contenders. I don't think they're Super Bowl contenders. With all the injuries they've had, and with the current quarterback situation there, he's still some people still think Nick Foles should be sitting on the bench and Mitchell Trubisky, but with such a shaky locker room, what it feels like right now, I don't think they're Super Bowl contenders. And the Saints have played and barely won in OT against a playoff contender, but not Super Bowl contender, and a team that's 2-5. Nothing about that's been really impressive. The only win right now that would have been impressive to me was the Buccaneers, and right now the Buccaneers are showing that they're way better than they were week 1. Even without Chris Godwin. And they're getting Antonio Brown this week. Right? So, I don't know. I don't think the Saints are real. I don't think they're winning their division, honestly. I think I projected them, and I predicted them to win, but just how they play, I didn't expect this out of them, right? And you can put that up to Michael Thomas being gone, and I'll get to the whole Michael Thomas situation in the news and stuff, but how the organization is right now, I don't think they're going to be able to make a deep playoff run. 49ers Seahawks. George Kittle. One of the biggest things was George Kittle and Jimmy Garoppolo go out for this game. And I'll cover their injuries in the news as well. But Seahawks go to 6-1. They're sitting pretty. And DK Metcalf has a pretty good game. The 49ers still have a chance, I guess, to make it to the wild card. But this kind of happened, I think it was their 2017 season, or the 2018 season. It was a season after they traded for Jimmy Garoppolo, because Jimmy Garoppolo won out for the 49ers, I'm pretty sure. I might be thinking of something else. No, I think I'm thinking of the right thing. Then the next season, Jimmy Garoppolo tears his ACL. They get the second overall pick. They get Nick Bosa. And then they dominate last year. I think this is kind of that year where they're not rebuilding, but they'll definitely get some good picks out of this if they just lose out, because even though their defense was one of their big things last year, and honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if they draft a quarterback behind this, maybe sit behind Jimmy Garoppolo, maybe even take his spot, because even though the 49ers probably would have won last year's Super Bowl if it wasn't for Patrick Mahomes, my whole point is we had Patrick Mahomes to be able to make the plays in the playoffs and get us those 3 miraculous comebacks to eventually win and crown us as Super Bowl champs. The 49ers, all their games were the Vikings game was it was lots of running, right? They did lots of running. They weren't able to do that in the Super Bowl once they got behind. And that's what I was talking about with the Ravens, right? They're not made to play from behind. Right? We can play from any position. Ahead, behind. We saw it in the divisional round. We played from 24 points behind and were able to make a miraculous comeback before even the first half ended. The 49ers need a playmaking quarterback who gives them that chance to play from whatever position. Now, if I'm the 49ers, I go draft a quarterback in the second round and make him sit behind Jimmy Garoppolo, kind of the Patrick Mahomes effect. If you want to succeed in this division, you have to be able to have a good quarterback, because your defense, I know defense wins championships and yada yada, but you got to be able to have a quarterback that can capitalize and make all these throws. And you have all these good receivers, but all they do is they feel like extra running backs. You have to be able to have a quarterback that can use a little bit, use their talents a little bit better. So if I'm the 49ers, I try to win a couple, but if their injuries are as bad as what they say, which I'll say, I'll talk about later. then yeah, I just start losing. Cowboys Eagles. This game was a shit show. Should have never been on prime time, but here we are. Ben DiNucci is is not going to be the franchise savior, right? I need all Cowboys fans to chill out because it was Dak Prescott's going to get us to the playoffs, and then he got injured. Well, red rifle time and concussion. Well, it's Ben DiNucci. He's going to take us to the playoffs now. No, no quarterback on your roster is good enough to take you anywhere. Like the CD Lamb draft pick was a mistake, and you might have taken him just in spite of the Eagles, so they wouldn't have a number one, like a really good, true projected round one wide receiver. Because if you guys remember, Jalen Reagor wasn't really a round one prediction, like a first round pick projection. He was like a second rounder, even like early third. And there's a lot of good wide receivers. If I were honestly the Eagles, I would have taken Denzel Mims, right? A really good receiver, or Michael Pittman. And you guys could have taken defense, right? I'm pretty sure Grant Delpit was still there. There's Patrick Queen. Like, could have got a couple linebackers or something. Help out your secondary too, or take someone to help out your secondary. Wait till you get to the second round. Don't draft Jalen Hurts. I understand Carson Wentz and all that stuff. Like right now, the Jalen Hurts pick wouldn't look so bad. If they put him over Carson Wentz because he's not playing well, but. And I know you guys, like no one can predict these wacky injuries that happen all year, but you've openly shopped Alshon Jeffrey, and you talk about getting rid of Deshaun Jackson, all sorts of stuff. And J.J. Arcega-Whiteside's not doing what you need him to do, and you take this guy from TCU who's a projected second round pick. Like, if you're gonna do that, at least like get someone before him. I'm sure you would have fell that far, because I'm pretty sure the 49ers were set on taking Brandon Ayuk. Right? You just kind of fit their what they've been doing with their wide receivers. And even if you didn't get Jalen Reagor to fall to you, this was a really deep wide receiver draft. Like, once you get past the first round, like, there's a lot of wide receivers that are fairly talented, that you could have gotten in the second round or third round, even some in the fourth. But you get my point. Eagles and the Cowboys. Sorry, I went on a tandem. Cowboys should have got some defense. And you can put some of it on the defense coordinator, but you didn't need CD Lamb, right? But the Eagles also made a bad pick in Jalen Reagor. Buccaneers Giants. This game was extremely close and went down to a controversial pass interference. Honestly, I didn't think it was pass interference. It was just a really bad throw by Daniel Jones. I don't think. Was it Dion Lu? I can't remember I think it was a running back for sure, who had a chance at the pass or the catch. I don't think he really had a shot at it, right? And Antoine, it was just really good play by Antoine Winfield, and it's more on Daniel Jones than anything. Terrible, like, it was a bad throw. He should have thrown it a little bit in front of the receiver. That's on him. And that was just to tie the game, right? So, you guys still could have lost in OT. It's just, like, I think it was the right call. I don't really think there's a lot of bad calls in that game, honestly. And then, last but not least, Chiefs and Jets. Patrick Mahomes, Offensive Player of the Week. Some shit I like to see. The run wasn't really a big thing, which kind of sucked for Le'Veon Bell on our team, because I know he would want a revenge game. But I guess you could say that beating them as bad as we did, 35-9, they didn't even score a touchdown. Beat them as bad as we did. I I'm sure he'd take that. But I'm sure he would have liked a 100-plus yard game. But Patrick Mahomes goes off, throws 5 touchdowns, and kind of puts himself back into the MVP discussions, which is something I like to hear because I kind of like Patrick Mahomes to win 2 MVPs. A lot of people said that, his first MVP was kind of a fluke and Drew Brees should have won it, yada, yada, yada. I'd love to see Patrick Mahomes go ball out, throw for like 50 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. He's on pace to throw like up to 4,000 to 5,000 yards again, and throw up to the high 40s, low 50s. So if he can go out, like I kind of want to see him break the single season record, but then again, this is the Jets we're talking about. I'm not gonna overreact. It was a really good game by Patrick Mahomes, nevertheless. Made a lot of good throws and made a lot of good plays. So yeah, I will have to say Rolex, good play, one of my favorite. Can't wait to see also this week for hopefully Clyde Edwards-Helaire is a good game. I was kind of hoping he would have had the old random the mic turn off randomly gag. I honestly don't know why it does that. But hopefully Clyde Edwards-Helaire gets to have a good game soon. Some news. Here we go. I'm gonna go from today towards last week. I don't think I missed any news last week. I don't think there's anything new, but I'll try to go over all the way to I think it was Friday. So some news that came in today. The 49ers had to shut down their facilities due to a positive COVID test, which they found out was Kendrick Bourne, and now left tackle Trent Williams and wide receivers Brandon Ayuk and Deebo Samuel are considered high-risk close contacts. So they are now out for the game tomorrow, or today, depends on when you're watching this, Thursday Night Football against Green Bay. So the 49ers lose more players on offense, which is something that they do not need after they just cut Dante Pettis. They tried to trade him. He had a really good year. I think it was his rookie or his sophomore year. But they tried trading him, and I believe it's his contract year this year. Hasn't really done much, and they have obviously wide receiver depth, but not anymore since they have 3 wide receivers out. So I'm sure that's something that the front office is kind of regretting now, letting go of Dante Pettis. But 49ers, I guess. Von Miller, who a lot of people have said would not be back this year, says that he might be ready to go in 3 weeks to a month. Now, I think this is kind of, if I'm him, and I'm not just saying this because I'm a Chiefs fan, I don't want to see him back on the field, I do. But the Broncos are already not doing so hot, right? You just take the year off, get to 100%, like, what if you re-aggravate your injury and have to be out for the rest of the year? It could be career-ending, who knows? But, Von Miller, I like playing against him, right? He's a pretty cool guy. So, I don't think they designated him to return from IR, but we'll have to see in the upcoming weeks what happens there. Giants told Golden Tate to stay home Wednesday, so yeah, that'd be today, on his on-field outburst, and then Tate likes tweet saying Giants should cut him. Now, it wasn't really a secret that the Giants tried trading Golden Tate before the trade deadline. Some people just said that it was, the Giants didn't get the value that they liked out of, or they would have gotten the value that they would have liked out of him. So they didn't trade him, they decided to hold on to him. And he played really good Monday. Like, I mean, Evan Ingram obviously improved, but Golden Tate was pretty impressive. And if they cut him, there are a lot of good teams that could benefit from Golden Tate, even though he's a little bit up there in age. Um, he still has he still plays at a high level. So I mean, obviously not like a top receiver in the NFL, but pretty. He's a little bit he's above average, borderline elite. Maybe the borderline elite's a little too nice, but he's still a really solid player. Saints quarterback Drew Brees, Alvin Kamara, and Michael Thomas were all limited at practice today, which is interesting because if they decide that Drew Brees will not play, Taysom Hill, right, be going at quarterback, and maybe we see some Jameis Winston. Who knows? But one thing I'd like to cover with this little piece of news is Michael Thomas has been practicing these past 3 weeks or 4 weeks and has not played a single down of football, and that kind of gets me concerned, right, about what is going on in the locker room or in the organization, because there are some talks that he might be traded or whatnot, and then they said that they're going to hold on to him. But we obviously know, he fought Chauncey Gardner-Johnson after he called him slant boy at practice. He was designated return that weekend. I can't remember the team. I'll have to go back. I think it was week 5. Let me check here real quick, because I remember. Oh yeah, I think it was the Chargers. It was either the Chargers, or he was either designated to come back against the Chargers, or the Chargers, because they had a bye week last week. Unless it was week 4. Let me check their game. No, I'm pretty sure it's the Chargers. He's designated to come back, and then he fought Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. They ruled him out for that game. So he's been out, I think, since week 1. So this, something's going on here, and I'm kind of curious to see if maybe they just didn't get the value they were thinking for Michael Thomas. Maybe they were fielding offers, but they weren't getting what they wanted, so they just decided to hold on to him instead of pull the trigger and, get fleeced. But who knows? The Giants, back to the 49ers news about cutting Dante Pettis. The Giants actually claimed him off of waivers, so a pretty good pickup for the Giants. But it's going to be interesting to see since obviously the stuff about Golden Tate. So Dante Moncrief was signed by the Patriots on their practice squad at least. So who knows? That could be a really good pickup for the Patriots. Not a lot of good receivers on there. I mean, Julian Edelman has just not played well since the Super Bowl and the Rams Super Bowl. Just hasn't played all that well. So N'Keal Harry's kind of, I feel like he's kind of a bust, honestly. Or he's just a really high pick. I don't think he's bust. Obviously, still productive, but he's not showing that he's a round or first round wide receiver. Lions placed Matthew Stafford on the reserve COVID-19 list. This is the second time Matthew Stafford has been put on this list. The first time, though, it was like by accident, or it was like false information or whatever. This time, who knows? Maybe the NFL just doesn't want the Lions to win any games. I mean, they don't need any help for it, but it always seems like there's something going on with the Lions. Also, I guess technically, big news. The Texans signed Josh McCown to their active roster after he was put on the Phillies practice squad. So I'm kind of curious why they made that move, but maybe they think Deshaun Watson is gonna get injured soon. They need Josh McCown. Who knows? It's just that's kind of weird. That's not news. One big also thing, kind of before the deadline and after the deadline, was Takkarist McKinley was calling out the Falcons, and now apparently the Falcons are going to hold Takk McKinley accountable for calling the team out. I don't know what that means exactly, but maybe it's maybe it's we hope you play better, or maybe they're gonna fine him or something. Who knows? And here's the kind of tweet that Takk McKinley sent out. But first I'll say that he called them clowns for not trading him, and a lot of people said that he wants out. Now here is what Takkarist McKinley tweeted out: "These Atlanta Falcons turned down a second-round pick when I requested to get traded last year. The same Atlanta Falcons turned down a 5th and 6th round pick for multiple teams where I requested to get traded this year. I only have 17.5 career sacks. Clowns." That's the clown emojis, but you get it. So pretty interesting stuff. It sounds like he's wanted to be out for a while, right? So who knows? Maybe that's an off-season move. We'll see. I believe actually this year might be his last year on contract, so maybe they won't even resign him, or if they do, they might put him on the franchise tag at most, and then trade him. So here we go. Some also, I guess you could say, news, but this is players of the week. Offense on the NFC was Dalvin Cook. Defense was Bobby Wagner, and special teams was kicker Ryan Suckup. AFC, Patrick Mahomes. On defense, Stephon Tuitt from the Steelers, and on special teams, punt returner from the Dolphins, Jakeem Grant. Let's keep going. Titans also said that they will release Vic Beasley today, which was kind of interesting because they signed him over the offseason. I kind of thought, he was an under the radar signing. I thought he was going to be really good on the Titans, but he didn't show up to training camp. Kind of went AWOL for a little bit, and hasn't really showed up. So, kind of interested to see where Vic Beasley will go. I don't think he'll go to the Chiefs, I'll tell you that much. The Seahawks released Michael Kendricks. I don't know why NFL Update likes to follow Michael Kendricks, because this is the 5th fucking piece of news I've seen about him, but he hasn't really been important since he was on the Eagles. Titans also released Jonathan Joseph. Not surprised at that one, since they traded for Desmond King. Also, we'll touch on that in a second. Bucks officially activated Antonio Brown from the reserve suspended list. He's back for this week. Also, at the end of the trade deadline, we did not see the Texans wide receivers being traded. We did not see Will Fuller get traded, Brandon Cooks, Randall Cobb, or Kenny Stills. Will Fuller was a big one to watch over the trade deadline, towards the coming days of the trade deadline. A lot of rumors saying he was going to go to the Packers, but they never got a deal done. Some say that it was because of value. Just like any pick or any trade that doesn't get done, it always is some sort of value. They always argue over some sort of value. So, interesting news from the Chiefs. I mean, obviously I knew about this when it happened, but we traded away DeAndre Washington and a 7th round pick for this year for a 6th round from the Dolphins. So, who knows what Brett Veach will turn that into? What Hall of Famer? I mean, we did get L'Jarius Sneed in like the 5th round, so who also is back at practice along with Sammy Watkins and Anthony Sherman. So I'm pretty hyped about that. Can't wait to see L'Jarius Sneed back. Hopefully at the end of the bye week. After the bye week, I'd love to see it. I have the need, right? The need for Sneed. You can say that's cheesy, but I am a big fan of L'Jarius Sneed. So, if you guys know L'Jarius Sneed, let me know. I want to meet this guy so bad. 49ers, they ruled out Debo before the COVID struck him. So, not only is he going to be out for the game this week, but also for next week. And Tevin Coleman is ruled out for this game. So, I don't even know if they'll have Raheem Mostert for this game. They're going to be signing people from, like, fucking JV high school teams at this point. Like, holy shit. Also in other news, the Dolphins were really the only team that made a splash at the deadline. And I wouldn't even call it a splash. It was mostly just like they're the ones that made trades. And a lot of people said it's because the GMs were at the polls, but let's be real, they probably were. I mean, they probably like voted. They just booked it down there and voted and got back and were trying to make some trades happen. But kind of would have liked to see them extend the. I don't know why this keeps turning off. Kind of would have liked to see him extend the deadline for another day at least. But they traded Isaiah Ford to the Patriots, and the Dolphins will get a 7th round pick for bad form next year, a 2022 pick. Interesting. The Bills signed former Cowboys corner Daryl Worley to the practice squad. He got cut along with Dontari Poe last week. So, good to see him back in the league to some capacity. Steelers wide receiver Juju Smith-Schuster and James Conner were fined $5,000 for wearing their socks too low. Come on, NFL. You're gonna judge these guys how they wear their socks now? Like, come on. And they get fined. Damn, that's a lot of money too. John Ross was expected to get traded, but he never did. So interesting. And yeah, that's the draft order. Talked about Bill Belichick. Talking about how they sold out to win Super Bowls. Yes. In big news, if you ask me. The Bears wide receiver who decided to fist fight Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. I don't know what it is about that guy that every wide receiver just despises him or whatever. Javon Mims is suspended for 2 games. He tried to appeal it, but it was upheld. And some people think that he should get actually more time for that. But, that's just them. I thought the whole thing was interesting. Like, it seemed kind of random. But I looked more into it, and apparently Chauncey Gardner-Johnson spat in his face and ripped off his mouthpiece. And so Javon Mims tried to rip his chain off and punched his helmet. So, yeah. And then back to earlier, what I was talking about. Jimmy Garoppolo is expected to be out indefinitely. Some say for the season. And George Kittle is expected to be out 8 weeks also for the season. Is what some people have said. Yeah, like I said earlier, obviously big. 2 of their big offensive guys, they're big name guys. And then I touched on the Chargers trade that involved Desmond King to the Titans for a 6th round pick. And the 49ers traded away linebacker Quan Alexander to the Saints for a 5th round pick and Kiko Alonso. And then Uh, Ravens cornerback Marlon Humphrey tested positive for COVID. And I think that's about it, other than the Avery Williams trade. He got traded, or Williamson trade. He got traded from the Jets to the Steelers for a 5th round pick. So he went from 0-7 to 8-0. So look at him go. Damn, 40 minutes into this. I hope you guys enjoy this content, because this is really long. I'm going to try to go through my projections real quick, because I don't want to keep you guys longer than I have to, and this video is getting extremely long. So here we go. I'm going to try to do this lightning quick, but my phone won't let me because it wants me to open everything. Packers, 49ers tomorrow, or Thursday Night Football. I think the Packers are going to win with all the recent injuries and COVID stuff happening with the 49ers. Broncos, Falcons. I think the Broncos are going to win this, judging on how bad the Falcons' defense has been, and their offense hasn't really been all that much either, and that's kind of the important phases of football. So, Lions, Vikings. I think the Vikings are going to get this one if Dalvin Cook plays. Dalvin Cook is really the it factor for this team, and that has showed this season. Ravens, Colts. I think the Ravens will get this win, but I think it's going to be closer than what most people might think. I think the Colts have a really good defense, and I don't think that the Ravens defense is going to be able to penetrate that Colts offensive line. Texans, Jaguars. Gardner Minshew is going to be out for this game, I believe, so I'm going to take the Texans on this one. Both 1-6 teams, so it's kind of a toss-up. Seahawks, Bills. I think the Seahawks are going to win this, but I think this is going to be a really close game. Honestly, if I'm in the schedule for the NFL, I am making this a prime time game. My phone is freezing for some reason, but I believe the next one was Bears, Titans. This game is going to be, I don't know. Both teams have kind of been exposed lately, but I'm going to take the Titans on this one. Mostly because the Derrick Henry factor, and the Bears don't really have a good rushing defense, honestly. So, yeah. Giants, New York Giants against the Washington Football Team. I think, honestly, I think the football team might win this one and improve. I believe they'd be tied for the division or winning the division if they get it. So, high hopes for the Washington Football Team. They can make the playoffs. Raiders, Chargers. I think the Raiders are going to win this one, even though it's going to be close. But the Chargers have blown a lot of leads. So, Steelers, Cowboys. This is, I don't even know if this is going to be a game. I don't know why this is put the later time slot. Just put this in the early one. Turn it out from some other game. Steelers are going to win this one. Seems pretty easy. Dolphins, Cardinals. I think the Cardinals are going to win this, but I think it's going to be an actually close game for Tua's second start of his NFL career, and I think he's going to do pretty good in this game. Saints, Buccaneers. I think the Buccaneers are going to win this. The Saints, kind of being frauds. Not going to lie. Patriots, Jets. Patriots going to win this one. And to my beloved Chiefs. Playing the Panthers, I don't see why the Chiefs would lose this one. So, even though the Panthers get Christian McCaffrey back, we have a lot more offensive firepower than they do. But I think it's going to be a pretty good game. As long as our defense gets shut down, Robbie Anderson, he's been their number one receiver this year. If we just contain Teddy Bridgewater, who we don't even know exactly if he's going to be playing, but if you can contain any possibility of scrambling, which we have been pretty good at, then we have a good shot at this one. So, I'm going to take the Chiefs in this one. I think I covered that 2 minutes. Dang. Alright. So, we have covered Week 8. We have covered news. and week 9 projections. And predictions, my bad. I get those words fucking tangled up every goddamn time because I'm so dumb. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.
Yeah. I'll be here for the night, don't have to think twice. I'll be oh so nice, I have to think twice. I'll be here for the night, don't have to think twice. I'll be oh so nice, I have to think twice. Yeah. I'll be here for the night. Travel far, moving with the seasons, go to Panama, then on to Ibiza. It didn't take that long, had no time for weeping. Fingernails like claws, I'ma close your keeping. Go store your bag, think it had a reason. Can't remember shit, but I got a feeling. Play all my songs, gonna blow now, speaker till we work it up. Can't remember either. Running in circles, not feeling okay. Act like imposters, we playing all day. Last night we talked all about holidays. One day we'll get all this, then get away. Tonight, don't have to think twice. I'll be oh so nice, I have to think twice. I'll be here for the night, don't have to think twice. I'll be oh so nice, I have